Hello guys, welcome to CodeStudio. This is our sixth session in end-to-end machine learning project playlist, where we will see how to deploy machine learning project in a AWS EC2 cloud platform. In this session, we will also see how to install and configure other resources such as Nginx web server or the proxy server, Guinicorn and Supervisor resources, which supports Flask application to run and up and running. Okay, guys, if you want to see full list of this project playlist, please check on the I button. Okay, so basically here is the architecture of this deployment, where the client would be browser or mobile devices, and the Nginx it will act as a web service and a reverse proxy. This means that Nginx will sit between your client and the Flask application and forward all your client requests to the Flask application. Guinicorn stands for the green unicorn. Okay, it's a Python web server gateway interface, HTTP server for a Unix. Okay, it will be used to forward the request from Nginx to Nginx servers to a Flask web application. Okay, and here is a supervisor. Okay, which act as a client server system that allows its user to monitor the number of process, and also it is allow us to control the number of process on Unix like operating system. In our requirement, supervisor can handle auto reloading of Guinicorn if it is crashes, or if the server is rebooted unexpectedly. Okay, so now let us connect to the AWS EC2 cloud platform to create a VM instance first. Then after we will install one by one these resources. Okay, guys, yeah, here is the URL to access the Amazon cloud. Once you logged in Amazon cloud, okay, AWS cloud, it will be navigated to this page. Okay, now to create a virtual machine server, okay, you need to access the service called EC2. Okay, so here is you have to search with this. Now you can go to the instances. This is my one of the existing instance. Okay, so recently I have created. So in this session we will try to see how to create a new instance. Okay, to create a new instance, just click on the launch instance. So for this session, actually I'll be using Ubuntu server. Okay, so I'll be selecting this. Now select the instance type. Okay, so I'll be selecting the free tier. Okay, with this configuration, 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM. Okay, now click on the next. You can leave this as is. Okay, now click on the add storage. So select this as default. Okay, 8 GB as our the size storage size. Leave this as is. Now configure your security group. Okay, in this section I'll add two more rules. Okay, that is HTTP and HTTPS. These two rules to be added if you want to allow your system to access through the internet. Okay, I mean, whenever you try to access your application from the web browser, okay, these are the two protocols will get triggered. Okay, that's why we need to add these two protocols, and SSH will be used to connect the instance or server through the third-party tools like a putty or the WinSCP. Okay, now review and launch. Okay, you can go through all these. Okay, then finally click on launch. At this stage we need to create a the key pair and download the key, private key. Okay, basically this the private key file will allow us to access the SSH to connect the server through the third party tools like putty or WinSCP. Okay, so what we will do, we will create a new pair. Okay, with the new pair name. Okay, so now click on download pair and save this key file. Okay, it will be the extension will be PEM. Okay, okay, then click on the launch instance. So now the instance is now launching. So you can see the instance. So view instance. So currently this is the our new instance we just got created. Okay, currently it is initializing. Now you can assign the name to this instance. Okay, so your virtual machine instance got created. Now you can note down your public IP and your public DNS. Okay, also you can see the the username to access this VM instance. Okay, so just select this VM. Okay, then after connect, So you will get all these details to connect the SSH. Okay. So here is my user, and this is my public domain. As this server is up and running, now we will connect this server and deploy our code, and then install all the required resources and libraries. Okay. So let us connect the WinSCP. So basically WinSCP will be used to transfer the file from our local system to the server. So in our case we have to deploy our code, right, the complete Flask project. So first of all we have to give the server IP, that is this. Okay, now our user is Ubuntu and there is no password. So now we have to connect the server, we have to upload our key which we downloaded from the Amazon cloud. To upload that private key we have to use advanced SSH authentication. Now this is the location. Okay, so basically by default the WinSCP will try to access the private key in form of a .ppk format. Okay, whereas we have downloaded the file that is in .pem. Okay, so first thing we need to convert this to .ppk. So once you select this, okay, so just try to click on open. So it will ask you to convert this. So this is the message. Do you want to convert this OpenSSH private key to putty format? So you need to click on OK to convert this into .pem to .ppk. Okay. So now it's just converted. So now you have to give the new file name. What I'll do, ppk. The extension will also get added as a .ppk. Okay. Just say this. Okay. So it's been converted and saved. Okay. So automatically it will pick the .ppk file. You can see like this. Okay. So now click on OK. Now click on login button. Okay, just ignore this. So this is my server. Okay, so now the right side panel is for server location. Okay, the left side panel is my local machine location. Okay, so I have to upload my code files to the server, right? So first of all I'll go, where is my code files in my local machine? Okay, so here is the file, okay, folder where I have my Flask project. So this home/Ubuntu is your home location for your server, that is Ubuntu server. So to deploy all this code, what we will do, we will create a one more folder inside this, okay, with the name as endtoend mlv1. Okay, and inside this folder we will upload all these required files. To upload into the our target server, okay, so we are not going to upload all these files. So basically we have to select few files, we have to exclude few files. Okay, so in my case I'll have to select the template file, the static, the apps folder which consists of all the codes, and the data folder which have all those data file structures, logs. This virtual environment folder we are going to leave this because we will create this virtual environment at the server side explicitly. Okay, then main and the requirement. Okay, requirement.txt file. So select this or okay, just click on F5. Okay, then click on OK. Okay, so these files are getting transferred to the our virtual machine server. Now all code files are migrated to server location. To run this Flask application, we need to install all the required libraries. Also, we need to install the Nginx web server and the Guinicorn and Supervisor resources. To install all those, we need to connect the putty. Okay, so here is the icon. Just click on OK. So it just connected to server. Okay, now from here, okay, we can install all these required libraries. Okay. So first thing we have to install the Python 3. So for that we have a command like this. Okay, sudo apt install Python 3. Okay, just run this. So Python 3 is already in the newest version. Now install and update the pip3. Okay, that is a standard package manager for Python 3. We're done with the Python installation and its pip. Okay, now we have to install the Nginx web server and reverse proxy. Basically this will act as a mediator between client and then a Flask application, which will forward the request from the client to the Flask application. So to install the Nginx web server, so here is the command. So sudo apt-get install Nginx. Just click on yes. So the server is installed now. Okay, so now to check the status about your Nginx server, so here is the command. So basically it is active and running. Okay, as it is running now, we'll try to hit the URL and from the client browser, the web browser, and see how does it work. So here is my public IP. Copy this. I hit this URL. Now you can see the there is a screen. Okay, it signifies that the Nginx is working fine. Okay, and this is the default index page. Okay, when you run the Nginx without configuring. To change this default page to our custom page, we need to do few configuration at the Nginx level. Okay, first step is remove the default page by deleting the default file. Okay, so basically in site enable folder the default configuration is there, so that has to be removed. So there is the command to remove that. Okay, run this. Okay, now the next step is create a new configuration file in a site available folder and create the symbolic link to it. So we will create a new configuration file for our project. Okay, so run this command. Okay, now add this piece of code. Basically the Nginx will listen 80 port, and the server is our cloud host IP. Once we hit the URL from the browser, okay, so we are telling we're telling the Nginx system to, whenever you get the the slash just after this URL or domain, okay, and then it has to redirect to the proxy path, that is our Flask application. Okay, these two entries are to store the logs of Nginx. Okay, and this will be, if hit the domain slash, I mean the IP slash static, then it will directly redirect to this location where our static files like CSS, JavaScripts, or those files will be placed. Okay, so just copy this, right click. Okay, now to save this you have to use :wq. Okay, now we need to create a folder structure for this. Okay, so for access log and error log, so basically in home slash ubuntu slash the end-to-end ml, this is our folder. Okay, so here is this. Okay, inside this we have a folder called logs. Okay, inside this we need to create a nginx log folder. Okay, for that we have to use a command like this. Now you can see, right, this folder got created. We are done with our configuration file. Now we have to create a symbolic link. Okay, that is a symlink. So basically create a symlink for this file. Okay, by running this command. So we are done with our configuration. Now we need to restart the Nginx web server. Okay, now let us try to hit the URL again. Okay, so now it is trying to redirect to our custom page. Okay, but it is giving another bad gateway error because our Flask application is not yet running. Okay, so we need to up that Flask application as well. To run the Flask application, before running the Flask application, we need to install we need to create a virtual environment and install all the required libraries, right? So we will do that first. Okay, to create a virtual environment, we have to install the virtual environment library. Okay, so here is the command. We will create a virtual environment folder inside our application folder. So for that we are redirecting. Okay, we are changing the directory. So here is the command to create a virtual environment folder. Okay, this is a hidden folder, and then also we're redirecting to that folder location. To create a virtual environment, so basically this is the command. Okay, so it is completed. So the virtual environment is created. Now we have to activate the virtual environment. So for that we have to use a command called like source. Okay, under this folder. Okay, this is my virtual environment. Okay, and this is the command. Okay, so run this to activate the virtual environment. So now you can see the virtual environment got activated. Basically we have created a virtual environment to maintain the separate Python libraries for individual the applications. Okay, now as we have created a virtual environment, now we will install all the required libraries inside, okay, within this virtual environment. Okay, for that actually basically we have this requirement.txt which contains all those the libraries, right? So now those has to get installed. So for that we have to use a command like this. Okay, pip install. Okay, then this is the location of that the requirement.txt file. run this. Okay, it takes some time to install all these required libraries. Okay, so we have installed all the required libraries. Now we have to run the our Flask application. For that we will be using a Guinicorn. Okay, so Guinicorn is the stands for green unicorn. Okay, it's a basically Python web service gateway interface HTTP server for a Linux or Unix. It will be used to run the application and also forward the request received from the Nginx to the Flask application. Okay, so now we have to install the Guinicorn. So to install that we have to use a command called this. So pip3 install Guinicorn. Okay, it's been now installed. As we have installed the Guinicorn, now we can run our application. So to run, okay, so first of all we have to so basically this is our Flask application, right? Means this has to get executed. For that what we need to do, first of all we have to check your current directory. Okay, it is what, so but we have to move to this directory, right? So yeah, now we can run that application. So to run that application we have to use a command like this. Okay, so basically Guinicorn, this is your module, and that module, this is your application, right? Okay, so it seems the scheduler started. It seems it's running now. So let us try to hit the web URL and see. See, now it's working fine. Now it is redirecting to our custom page, right? Here is one problem we could see. Okay, let's suppose if I kill this session, okay, the unicorn service will get stopped, and and because of that our program, our the service, our web page also get, will not work, because the unicorn service, the Flask application is not running. It means to run to activate the unicorn service, always we need to connect the putty, and we need to run the command like this. But this is not the usual practice, right? In production it has to run continuously. To control this service we basically use supervisor. Okay, so basically supervisor will allow us to monitor and control the number of process running in Unix like operating system. Basically the supervisor will look after Guinicorn processes, okay, and make sure they restarted if anything goes wrong. Okay, so let us install the supervisor. Okay, first of all kill this session. Okay, so here is a command to install the supervisor. So supervisor is installed now. So now we have to create the configuration file for supervisor. Okay, for that we have to use a command called this vim. Okay, so this will be my the new configuration file, and inside this we need to feed this data. So basically this is the directory and this is the command basically. So my Guinicorn is installed inside this location, right? So now this is the command Guinicorn, and this will be the module, Flask module, and this is the application of Flask. Okay, and these are for to store the logs of the supervisor. So inside this logs, that is currently we have this location, so we will create this folder and these files. Okay, so let me configure by adding this configuration entries. Okay, now colon wq to save the file. Okay, so now configuration is done. Now we will create a one more the log folder, okay, inside this for supervised resource. For that we need to use a command called first of all we have to create the directory, then after these files. Okay, you can see these now. Okay, it's been created. Now to enable the supervised configuration file, so run this following command. Okay, so we just restarted the supervisor. It means the supervisor is running, and it will check the Guinea process, and it will try to execute the Guinea process. So as the supervised is running, so it means our Guinea process also must get executed. So let us see now. See, now it is working, right? So now I did not manually initialized or the run the Guinicorn process. Okay, so minor change has to be done. So in index.html, okay, so basically earlier it was the local host was given. So now I just updated this with a slash, okay, prediction. So whenever you hit the request, okay, basically it will try to find this slash. Okay, it'll redirect to the Flask application URL slash prediction file. Okay, so let me save this and upload into the server. Okay, now restart the the Nginx server and your supervisor. Okay, now run this application again. Now enter these values. Okay, now you can see the predicted output. So it is running perfectly. That's all guys for today's session. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.